Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, be it albums, EPs, or singles, and after I listen to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release. Colton Dixon's new EP, Canvas. Colton Dixon's new EP, Canvas. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good EP here, even if some parts of this EP took a little bit of time to grow on me. But by the third listen, I have to say this is a pretty good EP here. Stylistically, definitely a pop EP that contains elements of alternative and contemporary, mostly on the upbeat side. The only exception being the ballad, which is also the title track, Canvas. And that is also the only song on the EP that is mostly devoid of the pop sound that is so prevalent through the rest of the EP, as Canvas is kind of a little more of an alternative ballad feel here. And as for the lyrics here, love the lyrics here. Really like the lyrics from the first listen here. Colton Dixon talks about how when he feels hopeless, fighting through the hard times in his own strength, he trusts his hope in God to in his unfailing love, to keep his promise to be with Colton, to protect Colton, guide Colton into a new life where he can be used by God, and give Colton the strength to fight, to victoriously overcome what he's facing. Up next, Ryann Stevenson's new album, ABLE. Ryann Stevenson's new album, ABLE. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good album here. Stylistically, definitely got a pop contemporary vibe, emphasis on the pop side of that, but make no mistake, the contemporary element is definitely there too, and a lot of songs fuse the two elements together here. Definitely some upbeat moments here on this album, and definitely some ballad moments here as well. Kind of a even balance between the two here. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here too. Ryann Stevenson talks about how when we feel shame from hiding our pain that makes us feel hopeless, God is with us to use it to draw us to peacefully trust our faith in Him, to keep His promises, to be sovereign over it, and give us the strength to press on, to miraculously make it out of the pain so we can reflect the hope that Jesus in His grace will forever heal us from all pain in heaven. Up next, Jonathan Traylor's new EP, Closer Than You Think. Jonathan Traylor's new EP, Closer Than You Think. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good EP here. Stylistically, definitely a diverse EP with 3 songs kind of having a pop feel to it. This Kind of Love, You Got Me, and I'm Good. 2 songs having kind of a worship feel, We Come Alive, and The King Is on the Way. And then the closing song, Walkin', is definitely a hip-hop banger. So again, very diverse and very good EP here. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Jonathan Traylor talks about how in the anxious suffering, God, in His undeserved, glorious love, is with Jonathan to change Jonathan free from sin and sovereignly guide Jonathan with strength to follow God's purpose of shining His light. Up next, Trip Lee's new single, At the Cross. Trip Lee's new single, At the Cross, featuring Madison, Ryann, Ward. Trip's first single of his monthly single series, where he's going to put out a new single on the 4th Friday of every month. Let's dive into this first single here. So, pretty good song here. Stylistically, definitely a trap banger. Good collaboration here between Trip and Madison, as Trip raps and sing raps, while Madison, Ryann Ward, sings on the hook and samples the hymn At the Cross. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Trip Lee talks about how he puts faith in Jesus' work on the cross to forgive him free from his sin, for him to surrender his life to live God's will of following him till Trip makes it to heaven. Up next, our last release for today, Disciples' new album, Skeleton Psalms. Disciples' new album, Skeleton Psalms. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good album here. Really heavy album, might I add. Stylistically, definitely on the metal and hard rock side of things, with emphasis definitely on the metal side of the equation. Vocally here, Kevin Young both sings and screams. He screams on all the heavier songs, with the exception of Promise to Live, which is actually the one heavier song on this album that doesn't really have metal element. It's kind of more of a standard hard rock song. And also Kevin just sings on the two ballads on this album, Resurrecting Reasons and For the Life of Me, which have kind of a southern rock feel. We also have bass player Josiah Prince singing on half of the songs here with Kevin. Pretty good album here, and pretty good lyrics as well. So, before I dive into my thoughts on the lyrics, I gotta say, I have a little bit of insight on the meaning of this album as I watched the album release party for this album from Disciple, and during the show, their lead singer, Kevin Young, gave a talk on the meaning of the album, which he talked about in that message. Kevin talked about putting our old selves to death and Jesus transforming us through his resurrection. So, I definitely was on the listen for the death and resurrection themes here on this album. So, you gotta take in mind a little bit this lyrical summary is based on what I heard from the concert, but overall, definitely based on the lyrical content of the album here. And as for the lyrics here, Kevin Young talks about how he had a deadly, sinful past of regret until Jesus, through his loving, sacrificial blood on the cross, gave Kevin the power to put that sinful past to death and resurrected Kevin to live a new life where Kevin lives to proclaim and reflect that love to a world that believes differently and opposes Kevin, as Kevin trusts in God to protect him, use the persecution to strengthen him, and ultimately resurrect him from the persecution. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what you saw in this video, please subscribe. I put out videos every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Also, if you have any thoughts on today's releases or what I may have said about them, let me know down in the comments below. Also, in the comments, you can let me know if there's any awesome releases that came out today that you want to see in next week's video. Also, check out the playlist section for my month stream playlist available here on YouTube and also on Spotify. And this month's edition of the playlist, which came out on Sunday, includes songs from artists like Switchfoot, Judah, Apollo LTD, and others. So go and check that out if you're interested. Well, go now. See you next week. Bye!